Hey, welcome to the Closing Time Podcast. My name is David Mansour, and I'm a mortgage loan officer here in Peachtree City, Georgia. And the goal of my podcast is simply to give you some insight and maybe look behind the curtains in the lives of some of the people that you do business with and see who they are outside of their careers. I hope you enjoy. Welcome, everybody. If you are new here, I am David Mansour, and you probably don't understand how lucky we are to have Miss Stephanie Moore here.
Well, thank you. Hi, everybody.
Stephanie is a extremely high producing real estate agent here with Keller Williams. And we're going to get to that. For some reason, she came and wants to talk about mortgages, which is odd. But I want to talk about Stephanie first.
Oh.
So I did a little digging and didn't have to go far. Tell me about Dad's Garage and you being on stage. What was that? That was the last post that was on your page. I was like, wait a second. Are you a stand-up comedian?
No, definitely not. That was all improv. And I'm just a participator. And definitely, if someone says, come on stage, I'm always going to say yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So what'd you have to do?
Just all improv. Yes. I don't even remember. It was kind of a blur.
That seems more difficult. Like, okay, you're a giraffe that just ran into a...
Yeah, I was a shark. Mm-hmm.
You were a shark.
Yeah,
Wow, random.
Yeah, it was hard. Yep. So not my thing, but that's okay. I don't sing, so as long as I didn't have to sing, we are all good.
Okay, so you do a lot of videos, though, so that runs in the family. So the other big part of your life is your daughter, Haley?
Yes, she's a filmmaker, cinematographer.
She's a filmmaker. So we did a video together, and she was the one that produced it, videoed it. She did it all.
Yeah, so she's a cinematographer. She goes to SCAD, and that's her thing. I was an actor for almost 30 years prior to that. So she kind of grew up always being on set. So she knew the whole industry. And then I guess I kind of thought she was going to be an actor. And then she didn't really like that. So when she was about 7, she wanted to do a film. And then she did this film and got all of her friends into it. And then there was a film festival here in Fayette County. And she put it in and won first place. And yeah, so she decided I'm going to be, and now she was a filmmaker in that one. She wasn't an actor. So she decided from then on, and she got several laurels. She ended up putting it in different film festivals. And she, with all they call them laurels, that's when you, kind of like they're like the awards you get. And she put them in Seattle. She put her film into all these different film festivals throughout the United States and won all these laurels throughout the United States.
Wow.
That's when she realized, I think I just want to be behind the camera.
Well, her biggest laurel is she was in Stranger Things. So.
Yeah. No, that's not a laurel, but that was she. She looked at it like that is her Star Wars. And she said to me, she's like, I just want to be an extra in that because I want to say for the rest of my life, I was in Stranger Things because that is her version of Star Wars.
Yes.
And for her era,
that's incredible.
They want to be able to.
So she was a Candy Strike nurse, and I remember y'all talking about it, and I went and looked. So she's walking down the hall. Was she supposed to turn around, or did she add that in?
No, that was part of it.
I was like, that's what I would do too. Is like, no, you're gonna see my face in this.
And what's so cool is that she actually does all the filming commercials for Millie Bobby Brown's makeup line.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's all intertwined.
So what have you done? Anything that we know that you were an extra, or I don't know what level of acting?
I used to do TV series and commercials.
Okay.
So back in the day, I've done Baywatch and all that stuff back then. But
I will be pulling up all my Baywatch reruns.
So way back then.
Were you a lifeguard or just a lady on the beach?
I drowned.
You drowned.
Yes.
You got saved.
Yes, yeah.
So you got.
No, I didn't make it. I'm sorry.
You died. Well, did you at least get mouth to mouth from?
I did get some David Jacoby. Yes. So yeah, there you go.
Wow. My goodness. Hopefully that was pre-hamburger incident.
Gross, but yeah.
That was a bad luck. I liked the guy a lot. That was weird. Not that we all haven't had that moment. Just it hasn't been recorded and put on TV.
Yeah.
So don't look it up if you haven't.
No.
You'll think less of him. So, all right. Well, let's jump into. Well, let me talk about your real estate because you have incredible numbers. How long have you been selling real estate?
Well, I started in the 90s back in California. I started actually in Los Angeles. in Culver City. And then I moved to Pasadena and went into a boutique area, a little boutique real estate office, Jim Dixon Realty, sold some real estate. Pasadena was fun because a lot of great little homes there. Oh, beautiful homes, huge porches, all the hardwood floors, and they're older and they had so much character. It was fun. And then we moved up to Valencia, which is just north of Los Angeles. It's kind of like where we had our Magic Mountain or our Six Flags.
Yeah.
And then sold real estate out there, went back to Century 21. And then we decided to move to Georgia. And I thought, well, do I get my license here in Georgia? So then I took the test and then I ended up getting pregnant and kind of sat on the sidelines to decide if I wanted to do real estate. And then we just kept watching the market. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to jump back in. And then once I decided to jump in, I decided to go to Keller Williams.
Awesome.
I'm so happy I did because I love the infrastructure that they have because I think the way real estate is, it's constantly turning. And I think I need to always be learning because we're always turning and knowledge is power.
Right.
And I like the knowledge.
Yeah. So I know you have support staff that work for you, but do you work as a team? Do you have other agent? Like, are you any sort of
I just
team?
have one employee, yeah.
Okay. So that leads me to that. So ChatGPT says that you are a $20 million producer. That makes you like a mega agent. But then kind of some other places I looked at the numbers is around 12 million, which means you're an absolutely rock star. Either one of those numbers is huge.
Yeah.
Are you super mega agent or just damn one of the best in Fayette County? Which one?
Oh, no, I think, you have great years and hard years. And I mean, I shouldn't say hard years, but there's still great years. And
it's a change in market. You already said that.
12 million is a great year still.
12 years is incredible.
So, 12 million.
12 million, I'm sorry.
Yes, 12 million is a great year.
12 million is, it feels like, maybe everything just turned in 2020, but I just feel like it wasn't too long ago that for me as a mortgage loan officer, when we looked at, all right, who do I want to call on? Who are the top producers? It was 5 million. Like if you did 5 million, you were a big producer. And so then to see 12 million, that's a big number.
Yeah. And I think that the value of homes here in Fayette County have changed. And it's inflation, yes, but it's inflation in the right direction. We needed, and so 25 years ago when I moved to Peachtree City, my home that I purchased we purchased it, I think $215,000. And then a good 15 years into living here in Peachtree City, it was probably $300,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at 15 years into living in Peachtree City, it had only gone up $75,000 barely. Like, are we serious?
Yeah.
Like, that's not normal for a market.
Right.
It should have raised up much higher. So it was nice to start seeing it, like, once the 20-year mark started hitting, we started finally seeing it roll over.
Yes.
I was grateful because that's
they
the
were
way it
flipping.
should.
That's a good point.
So
the houses really started selling.
We needed
rolling
that.
over, yeah.
We did need that because people needed to start seeing equity in their homes. If you go anywhere, you mostly see equity, like a 4% increase year by year, but it was pretty stagnant for a while there.
So what do you feel like now? Are we reset back to we're going to see 15 years and you're only going to get $100,000? God, that sounds so good though to think, but even that sounds good. Or do you think we've rolled into it? We're a really established area here, highly sought after. Peachtree City is just a fantastic place to live. It always has been, but for some reason, I think more people know about it. So do you think we're going to be in a continued growth or a slowed growth, or what do you think about the next few years?
Continued growth, of course. And I think that we're turning more into a city than we are like the small suburb.
A town, yeah.
And it's okay because it'll be a different style of suburb. And I shouldn't call it a city, but just a different style of suburb. And
I think city's perfect because kind of the way you're trying to describe it is this: we're not a town feels small, like it's just out there, you just live in that town. But a city, we've got restaurants and businesses and corporations, and we have really everything that you would want. We've got the Trilith and the soccer, the U.S. Men's National Soccer Center.
Yeah.
Right
and
here.
Well, it's not everyone's speed and it's not what they might have signed up for initially, but change happens,
It does.
and change is hard. And sometimes we have to just move forward.
Yeah.
And it is hard, but sometimes you can't do anything about
I
change.
think it's a slowed growth, kind of when you talked about appreciation, but I think the growth here, as far as the lights and the, just gas stations and all that stuff, has been very maintained and restricted.
It has,
We've not
yes.
seen the explosion. My mom lived in Lilburn, and it was country one day and
next day.
4,000 Burger Kings literally 3 years later.
Yeah.
So I think they've done a really good job of maintaining. Probably doesn't feel like that to somebody that's been here for 30 years.
Yeah.
But for people like myself, I've been living in Peachtree City 15 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's been a pretty slow growth because I'm still looking for more beer gardens. And God, I apologize. I feel
They're
like
trying.
I sneak in beer garden in every episode of my podcast. I'm sure no one has listened to all of them, but for some reason that word comes up.
I'm surprised we're not drinking beer.
We started too early. All right, well, let's move to the 10 Commandments. You sent this. I've not actually seen this before, and it's brilliant.
It's a fun topic that we like to talk about, and I think it's really neat because it's so true, and it's something that everyone should know. Like when buying a house, because it affects both buyer and seller. Because if the buyer doesn't do what they're supposed to do, the seller loses their buyer.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of the things that we're going to talk about, these 10 things, are mostly lender sided.
Yeah.
But I love what you said when we were talking earlier on the phone, is that let's call them purchasers, differentiate people that are buying the house. A purchaser, it's ways that they sabotage the transaction and they don't even realize it. They don't see it coming.
Yes.
They don't realize it's, we laugh, we make jokes, and because we see this every day, so we understand. But some people have no idea. And I know when people get pre-approved, and you've probably had it, where you sold somebody a house and they just know they can buy a $450,000 house, and you send them to get pre-approved, and the lender's like, they can't buy it all, or they're 100,000 over. Like, people really don't understand what it takes to qualify. And I'm not trying to make it sound like it's harder. I'm just trying to say you need to make sure, if you have no clue, you need to make sure you speak to a lender so that you know what the payment's going to be and how much money it actually requires for you to cover. So that's before we even get to these 10 Commandments.
Sure. It's unfortunate that people try to jump on Zillow and pull up the Zillow calculator and think that, okay, I make this much money, so that means I can have this much of a mortgage. But unfortunately, they're really not pulling up all their debt and adding all of that accurately.
Yes.
So
their income, they're like,
looks a little different.
I worked 75 hours this week, I'm going to give them that income. It's like, no, we do some averaging. That's another video. You could jump into my other section on my YouTube page and see the videos of how we calculate income. But it does vary for a lot of different people.
Yeah.
So it's so important to talk to them.
And we do want people in the best home possible. We don't want people to be so outsourced and so over the top that they're drowning and they lose their house. The goal is for you to feel comfortable and be in the house that you can afford, so you and your family can actually live and enjoy it. Yeah.
And especially now. Now I feel like rates have settled back down into a reasonable range.
Amazing rates.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're sitting right around 6%. Some people probably are still hoping for lower. It's possible, but 1,000% you should not bank on anything lower than what we have right now.
But I guarantee that some people out there can get 5.5 with great credits.
Yeah, different loan programs.
Different loan programs.
There are definitely things in the fives, but
how great is that, though?
It is incredible. It is incredible. And the reason I say that I jump in with a 6% is I don't want, because people are going to go, they're running with that 5.5 now. Yeah. Every single person that listens to this is going to think that 5.5 is it. I'm perfect. I got great credit. Yes. I should get that. Well, it's specific programs. It's FHA, VA, large down payments with absolutely perfect credit that you get much better rates. So it is a range. So
this is the knowledge. Knowledge is power.
Very much so. Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's jump into our 10 Commandments. What's number one? Do you want to ask these? Am I answering them?
You go ahead. You have them on your.
Oh, yeah, I did print them out. So number one is thou shalt not change jobs, become self-employed, or quit your job.
Oh, my gosh.
Have you had this happen?
Yes, let me tell the story on this one, okay? I had this lovely lady. Oh my gosh. She was moving from Florida here to Peachtree City, and she was a single mom, and she was, of course, moving from Florida to Peachtree City. So, of course, she's changing jobs, right?
Yeah.
So she purchases this house here in Peachtree City, and we're so excited. We're closing on Wednesday. And she says, oh, I'm going to come down Friday. And I'm like, okay, great. I'm assuming that she's got vacation planned or however she's got it planned. This is something that, I usually don't baby step them because I
seems like common sense.
Everything's kind of got it situated, right? So she calls me Friday and she says she's driving down. I'm like, okay, great, because I'm calling her. How's the drive? She's like, it's wonderful. We've got our stuff packed in the back. We're going to come back to the house on Wednesday after the closing and get the rest of our stuff. I'm like, oh, that's great, wonderful. So then we talk and then, or we hang up the phone. And then Monday she calls me and she's crying and I could barely understand her. And then I'm getting a phone call at the same time and it's the lender. And I'm like, wait, let me call you back. I can't understand you, but the lender's calling me. And the lender's like, you are not going to believe what happened. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I'm like, what happened? And the lender's like, she quit her job. And I was like, what? And then so what happened is all the way up until the morning of, just so everybody knows, a lender will call your job and say, hey, is Susie still working there? Even sometimes the hour of the closing. So if your closing's at 11 o'clock, they'll call at 10:59 and say, does Susie still work there? And if they say no, then you can't close because they can't see that you're going to be able to fund that loan. So, in fact, they called on that Monday, even though she closed on Wednesday, they called on Monday and they said, oh no, she quit on Friday. She had this job for 35 years. 35 years. She did not give 2 weeks notice. She just quit on Friday and said, see ya, peace. So we're sitting there. I have to call her back and I'm like, what? Why did you do this? She's like, well, because I'm going to go to Peachtree City. I'll just find a job in Peachtree City. And I was like, but you haven't gotten the house yet. You don't even own the house yet. And she was like, I didn't think it mattered. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I need you to find a job and we can't close on Wednesday now.
Yeah.
So we had to push the closing by 2 weeks.
Turn around, go back and apologize.
Luckily,
and get that job back.
They wouldn't take her back.
Of course not.
Because she gave no 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
But luckily she was a nurse.
Yeah.
If you find this video, please subscribe.
And so she can get the job title would stay the same. And the lender allowed her to pick up a job because it would be the same title somewhere else. So she got herself a job somewhere else here in Peachtree City. I pulled out every trick. I called every person. Anyone hiring? I found every doctor, every Botox facility that I knew. I called everybody trying to, is anyone hiring? Please hire my client. Please hire. So finally we got her a job. And so she was able to close 2 weeks later.
Cautionary tale just on that exact example. So maybe you understand how we calculate income. But one, we do verify it. We're required. It's not a specific.
Yes.
We have to verify employment within 24 hours of closing.
Yeah.
So that can happen an hour before closing if the process was just busy. Maybe she calls 24 hours. I don't know when that's going to happen, nor should it matter. Keep your job.
Keep your job.
But as a nurse has their income's not, I don't work 40 hours a week and I get X. Their income varies because of the hours. So then all of a sudden you're changing jobs. We might all of a sudden be shifting to the minimum. Because a lot of times as a nurse, you're only given a minimum of this, but of course most nurses work lots of over. So your income could change. So she's lucky she got approved at all.
She is, yeah.
So they must have guaranteed enough for her to qualify for that. So that is part of it when you go to get qualified. Because we even have problems with people if you work overtime, and so then it's a month before closing, they'll stop working overtime. So that they can pack the house and all that stuff.
Yes.
And then we get a pay stub a week before closing that shows 0 overtime. And we're like, we were counting on that. That's the only way you qualify.
That's who you said you were.
That's who you were. So
you were the guy that worked overtime.
You were exactly. You needed it. You knew it. We had to average it. It's been there. So make sure whatever you're doing that application, you're doing.
Just if you say you are somebody, be that person until you put the keys in your hands.
Yeah.
So if you work for Home Depot, you work for Home Depot until the very day you have the keys in your hands. And if you're working 40 hours, you're working 40 hours.
Yeah.
And we get that you need to move, but do it all the way until the day you have the keys in your hands.
Yep. And this goes for a lot of these questions, or a lot of these comments we'll get to, is if you're going to commit mortgage fraud, you better be really good at it. And I use that strong word because a lot of people think like that. She just quit her job. She didn't think anything of it. But if she would have closed, that's mortgage fraud because you did not have that job. It's in the application. You're going to maintain all that stuff.
Correct.
We ask enough questions. And if you've bought a house, you know it feels very invasive that we ask, why do you have that deposit? And why is this? And where's that? And explain that. So you really can't have secrets from your mortgage company. They're going to find it out.
Yes.
So if you're going to commit fraud, you better be really good at it.
And I think that for the average American, they're not trying to commit fraud.
No, exactly.
They don't even see it being a problem.
Right. And that it's a very strong word, but it is that.
Yes. For them, they look at it as probably just micromanaging.
Right.
Why are you guys micromanaging me?
Why you want to know that? I've got perfect credit. Clearly I could buy it. I've got $1 million in the bank. Why do you care that I moved money around?
But remember, you are borrowing money from
large
an institution.
amount of money. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, all right. Number 2, thou shalt not buy a car, a truck, or a van. And I love this one that they put van. At first I was like, why did they put van in there? But then the little joke, because if you do buy one after application, you could be living in the van.
Because it can be a problem. Yeah. So again, this just goes by like the whole job. It's people think, well, if I buy a car, because they want to have the nice new car for that nice new neighborhood. But again, now you're changing your debt.
Right.
And they think it's not going to matter, but it does.
Or sometimes they get a new job with a little bit more income. So like, oh, I make more, I can buy a car. But always buy the house first. Always buy the house first and buy the car after you close if you need it, whatever. Or at least have the conversation with the lender. This is what I'm thinking about. Can I still qualify if I buy a car with this payment? Have that conversation. Just don't do it.
We were talking to somebody, and what a great conversation somebody had. That think about, if you don't buy that car, you don't have that $300 to $700 payment, whatever that is for you. What you could look like that you could afford when buying a house changes you from buying possibly a $500,000 house to a $800,000 house. Yeah. That is a huge difference. Yeah. So
for the same, and the average car payment, I believe, is $1,000 right now.
Yeah. So I would definitely not buy the car because that would get you into the bigger, better house that you could afford and want.
Exactly. All right. Number 3, thou shalt not use charge cards excessively or let the accounts fall behind.
No more door dashing. Please do not door dash up, or just don't go on vacations and charge up the world. So a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to use my credit card so I can have all the cash to use as the down payment on the house.
Yeah. And so we don't always pull credit. Like with the employment, we always 100% of the time verify employment 24 hours. We don't always have to re-pull credit.
That's great.
But there are often reasons why we do, or oftentimes inquiries or things like that will actually pop up. And do you want to risk it? Is it worth it? Is the question. Whether you open a new credit card or whether you just raise your balances. What if, something happens and we've got to get that statement or update that credit report, and then all of a sudden your whole situation's changed because you wanted Chick-fil-A and could not get in your car and drive and go get it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So don't do that. Try to keep everything the same. Thou shalt not spend money you have set aside for closing. Oh. Yes. The one thing I'll lead in with that is make sure you know how much money you're going to need at closing. And I've done other videos on this is, when we talk about, if you Google and it says you got to have 5% to put down. Well, you've got closing costs and prepaids on top of that. So make sure you understand the total dollar you're going to need before you spend in cash. So
yeah, the story I have is someone, they had, I think it was like $125,000 they had to bring to the table. And they had a birthday party to go to the weekend before. Of course, it was in Vegas.
I was just going to say, was it in Vegas?
And they thought that just they're going to grab a little bit. and they're going to fully win because it was a roulette table. No big
Oh,
deal.
yeah. No one loses that.
Lost it all. And he had to come back to his wife.
Lost like the whole like down payment. $1,000?
Because he kept going back for more and kept saying, "This time I'm gonna win it back. This time I'm gonna win it back," and just kept taking little increments all night long. I know.
It's a disease. I mean, gambling is a disease, just like alcoholics.
And the poor guy, I think he'd only been to Vegas a couple of times, so it was not a good look for him.
So do not let your husband or wife go to Vegas while you're looking to buy a house.
I'm the gambler in my family,
Yes.
so yeah.
Well, I love blackjack, but maybe, of course, if I lose $200, I'm pissed. I couldn't imagine losing 1,000 or 5,000. Like I don't even understand that.
Yeah, I've lost it before. So.
Number 5, thou shalt not omit debts or liabilities from your loan application.
That's the lying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people, they think that there's your side and my side. And we see this sometimes even with buyers and realtors. They feel like they don't want to show you all their cards. And I cannot stress it enough that there are not any sides. There's nothing that you need to hide from me, that you like, don't tell me your tallest, your best number because you want to keep it to yourself. Like, you can tell me the most you want to spend for a house. I'm not going to make you spend that if that's what you say you don't want to spend. Like, if you say I can only go up to 800,000, but we really want to spend only 750, I'm going to try to make you only spend 750. Like, I'm not going to ever, you know what I mean?
I'll add into that because I started thinking about this, a video. If you don't trust your real estate agent to be able to tell them that, you need a new real estate agent.
Correct.
Like, if you don't trust them enough to be honest with them, why are you working with them?
And I think that there's some people that just don't believe any realtors. So it's something that they probably have to look within themselves to figure out why that is. So really, and that goes for lenders then. They think that there's a trick. So no one's tricking you. There's got to be a point where you just have to learn to trust. Yeah.
And a lot of these, to add how they show up, a lot of it shows up on a bank statement. We see a consistent or a round number or just a consistent withdrawal. If we see the same thing 2 months in a row.
Speaking of DoorDash, I think you've got something coming.
I haven't ordered anything. What we got?
Oh, it looks like it's food being delivered.
Really? Oh, that's my juice. I ordered that bamboo.
Yeah,
juice
I love bamboo.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what was I saying? It'll show up in the bank statement. So that's where it shows up. So child support, alimony, those type of things don't show up on a credit report, et cetera. You know, it might pop up. We don't want it popping up 5 days before closing when you could have been disclosed. And have a conversation with your lender. Remember, your lender is on your side. Your loan officer, I say that. You can tell your loan officer, most of us, you could tell them anything and they'll say, hey, let's not bring that up again.
Correct.
We don't want to tell the processor everything or the underwriter everything, but the loan officer can help walk you through, okay, if you're going to do that, this is maybe how we need to do it, or let's not do that till this date. So
let's not have that
thinking
conversation again.
Right.
Like, they'll tell you when they don't feel comfortable having a conversation with you.
Yeah. Now, I mean, if you tell us, hey, I'm going to quit my job tomorrow, I'm not going to be able to ignore that, but there's certain things in strategy we can work with. So, thou shalt not buy furniture. I think that goes along with cars and credit cards.
But you'd be so surprised. Yeah. Everyone thinks the furniture does not count.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down and I'm going to go to Ashley Furniture and I'm going to buy couches or a fridge, and no one's going to care because it's for the house.
Yeah.
But we do care. Yeah. And you can't purchase it.
Yeah.
Because it's usually thousands of dollars.
Right. Yeah. And again, so I hate to give anybody any leeway because I feel like then they're going to screw up. But you know your situation. And if you've got $500,000 in the bank and you want to go buy a washer dryer, I'm sure it's not going to affect your situation. But if you're a first-time home buyer and you are barely coming up with a down payment and you maxed out how much you qualify for, then you do not do anything to mess up, what got you approved.
We beg you. Please.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not originate any inquiries into your credit. And those do pop up. Inquiries do often pop up. If someone else pulls your credit after us, if it's in process.
Like you're getting a credit card like Victoria's Secret.
Or the furniture thing. Because most people go to furniture and they get that financing through the furniture place.
Yeah.
Obviously cars and all that stuff, but they don't think about that. Then all of a sudden you have a new debt and we're like, hey, what'd you do? And they're like, oh, I bought $11,000 worth of furniture. I was like, well, put it in your van down by the river.
Because that's where you're living.
That's where you're living. That's a cool, wow, 8.
Yeah, no random large deposits.
Yes, large deposits. And this is where people are more sensitive and seem to get offended when we question these.
Yeah, like mom just gave you $20,000.
Yes. Just know anything with deposits, anything on your bank statements, we can ask and question, and likely we will. So the guideline for that is any deposit that is 50% of your gross monthly income or more, we're required to ask for not just an explanation, but a paper trail. So you can't just explain it away. You can't just say, oh, I sold my four-wheeler. We got to show that you owned a four-wheeler. We need a bill of sale. We got to see all of that.
Yeah.
So that gets a lot of people the reason I was leading to that is with the 50% is the underwriter, if they feel like they need to ask, it could be less than that 50% and they can ask. If it feels like it could affect the loan or whatever's going on, or if there's a bunch of $2,000 deposits that are less than the 50%, they can ask anything.
Yeah.
So.
And this is not just in the loan world. We're starting to see this even with straight cash buyers, because now we've got FinCEN coming in and you're having to identify where your cash comes from because they want to make sure you're not doing money laundering.
Really?
So now there's a whole new thing starting March 1st. Oh, wait, we're March 2nd. Now you have to identify where your large sum of cash is coming from.
Wow.
So all the way through, cash is a thing, and they want to make sure there's no money laundering.
Yes. And just to hit gifts really quick, if you're getting a gift for your down payment, source and document, and we actually, in some circumstances, have to show that whoever gave you the money had the ability to give you the money.
Yes.
So we can't just say, Mom gave me $5,000 and her write a letter and even get a copy of the check. Sometimes they're going to ask for a month's bank statements to show that you didn't just give $20,000 and then she gives it right back to you. The lenders have gotten a little wise to that trick.
That must have happened.
Oh, it used to happen all the time. But they've actually gotten more lenient on that, where if the gift donor will just wire it straight to closing, then we don't have to have the bank statement from the donor.
Clever.
Yeah.
Clevies.
Oddly, they've gotten looser on that one thing. I don't understand it. But
well, I can handle that one.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Okay. All right. Don't change banks.
Don't change bank accounts. And this has happened to me several times.
First of all, that's a pain in the butt in the first place.
Yes. Because we got to have 30 days or 60 days bank statements. You closed your account. Now you don't have access to anything. You closed your Wisconsin account, moved to Georgia, and they're like, well, you got to come in the bank. We don't do any of that. I've had that with wires, especially, because you do have to wire your funds to closing, and people will move from out of state and want to wire from, it doesn't really pertain to this, but that bank only does wires in person. So, they show up the day before or they come here a week before, and they've got to get back to Wisconsin to initiate that wire because they don't do it face-to-face.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So they literally have to fly home.
They have to get home whichever way they can, get that wire initiated, and then come back. So
that's a nightmare.
It is. It can be a pain. But you don't want to reestablish because, again, we have to verify all large deposits. If it's clean, then it's just more paperwork. But if you took out $50,000 and only deposited $43.50, or the numbers don't exactly match because you took a little cash for the road trip or whatever, then we got issues. Where'd that money go? Why doesn't that match?
Well, what I hear you say is that underwriting likes consistency.
They do.
Yeah.
Very much. They want to know that it is be who you said you were.
Yeah.
They want to know that's that because they're suspicious of loan fraud.
I don't blame them.
And you would think that in the last 5 years, loan fraud has gone or reduced, but it's not. It continues to grow. And with AI, I can't imagine. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's just getting a little more clever.
Yes, they're a little bit smarter.
All right. Don't co-sign for anyone. Oh, so, okay, there's so much discrepancy on this because people go all the time. I get, it's not going to count. People are told that it won't count. Nobody will know. And
they're going to know.
Of course they will. But they're being lied to by their friends and family who want them to co-sign.
Right. So here's a deeper explanation, but it maybe helps somebody, is if you co-sign with your son on a car note, and a lot of parents do this, they want to manage it. The son pays the dad or the mom for the car payment, and the mom or dad makes the car payment. You're obligated to that forever. But if you co-sign with your son on a car payment and the son makes the car payment directly to the bank for 12 months, we don't have to count it against you. So does that make sense? So if the actual person that co-signed makes the payment themselves from a separate account that you're not on, we don't have to count it. But if they're giving you $500 and then you're sending them $500, you're gone. And they have to do it 12 consistent months. And I've had that blow up where somebody made, there were 12 payments and one right in the middle, they decided to give dad the $500 cash. Gone, blow it up. Because it has to be 12 consistent months when you're not trying to count that debt against you. So that's a pain. So if you qualify with that debt, no problem for our wealthy friends. But for those that are trying to get by, or even if it's a mortgage or whatever, just again, be upfront, honest, and be thorough with your pre-approval. If you have these type of things on your report or your application and your lender gives you a full-on approval and asks for nothing else in 4 hours, then they're probably not going through it enough.
Yeah.
So
good point.
Yeah. We've moved, we like to turn around those pre-approvals pretty quick, but even with a pre-approval, I'm still moving forward with the next steps. Like, okay, you told me you made all 12 payments. Here's your pre-approval letter, but no, it's contingent upon you giving me those 12. Now give me those 12. So if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Awesome.
Yikes.
Well, that is our 10 commandments.
There you go.
That's funny. We had a story for just about all of them.
We did.
I know.
Because it's real.
It is. It happens all the time. And we talk about, I don't know if people watch the videos. I've got a friend that kind of got me started with this. He did YouTube. And he said he was shocked at how many people watch his full length videos.
Yeah.
Like the short stuff. He said serious buyers don't watch that short stuff.
Yeah.
That's for brand recognition, but they're not.
Right. But the long form.
But the long form, he said.
They're at home on their couch and they're doing the dishes or whatever. And this is background for them.
Yes. And he said that so many people have cut. He has done the research and seemed to be very knowledgeable, but so many people have cut cable out.
Yeah.
So they're on YouTube, like, hey, pull up war movies. Oh, pull up real estate in here. And they just enjoy watching that stuff.
Yeah. They like the talking. It's a lot of that talking because they just want to learn. They want to learn and become educated. Again, that knowledge is power. People want to know and be in the know because that way they have something to talk about and they also feel educated because they don't want to be one of these stupid people that are doing those stupid things because it's common sense, but yet very smart people, the smartest people in the room are doing the wrong things.
Yes. Yeah. And just, for my very confident people, just check the arrogance at the door. It's nothing personal.
It's nothing.
It has nothing to do with you. We know you got perfect credit. We know how much I see it. I don't want to ask you these questions. I'd love to write every loan in the world because that's the only way I get paid.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they have a way they do it. I'm not asking you if it's not necessary.
Sometimes you just overlook the obvious. And some of these things are the obvious. So these are good little tools to remember and just talk about.
Yep. So we're at March 3rd. So the buying season, this is when it starts, right around, especially when it's sunny and 70 outside, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
it's doing good.
This is going to be a great year. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of pent-up demand. So I'm excited about the people that are about to come out and I am making no promises with interest rates. So if you're waiting, do not wait.
Yeah, don't wait.
I don't think they're coming down much.
He's not going to give you 5.5 unless you have perfect credit and then you're going to have to call him, but he's going to give you 6.
Yes. 6 is guaranteed. Anything below that, you got to earn it. So,
you have to earn it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. This was fun. Like, it's funny that you came up with this and I've not ever even seen this. So is this common real estate? So y'all go through that.
Now it's your baby.
Yeah. I'm glad I got a video, so I can put it on my little.
All your clients, you're going to send it off to them and say,
We'll say, watch
forget.
this podcast. So see everything on
Yeah.
here. So that's awesome. Hopefully we don't get caught. So if they do, we're going to go, you're going to sit down and watch this right now.
That's right.
Yeah. Or just play it in a loop as you're driving around showing people houses.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Lock in the bathroom,
and if anyone does do it, we'll lock them in a room and make it watch them.
Yes. Yeah. So what are your socials, or where, because you do incredible videos with your daughters help, I'm guessing you probably do a lot on your own as well.
Oh, now she's too busy, so I have to do it all on my own. Yeah, so that's fine though. Yeah, no, I'm on Instagram, obviously, and then I've got TikTok and then Snapchat, which I don't know how to really work Snapchat, so I throw videos up there all the time, but I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I've got videos up on all these platforms, and yeah, I don't know.
So that's funny you said Snapchat, because I thought Snapchat was dying, but evidently their short-form video usage is growing.
Yeah,
tremendously. People are watching the same thing with Reels or with TikToks.
They're selling on Snapchat.
Yeah, I was really surprised that, and I've had Snapchat. It's just something me and my really brothers and a couple close friends just send dumb stuff.
Yeah.
That we don't want public.
Oh yeah.
And so it's pretty cool to know that that's having a comeback on that little.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you might want to jump back on Snapchat if you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, I've got real estate trickled everywhere. I think that you just Google realtor Stephanie Moore and you'll find me all over the place.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's just one topic, so we could do this again sometime.
Anytime you want me.
Are you having a David day?